John, how would you kind of describe what you saw on that last second goal, Coleman, and how much your emotions maybe changed from 12 seconds to go to the end of the period there?
You know what I thought of was Boston game in the bubble last year. I literally in my head, I'm like, did he just do that again? I know a little bit different scenarios, but it was remarkably similar. Just the timing was epic. Definitely a big lift going in the second.
Dan Rosen, NHL.com.
John, early in the game, very early in the game, Nick Suzuki looked like he got in alone on Vasilevskiy, and Vasilevskiy poke-checked the puck away from him. Are there moments early in a game when you kind of say to yourself, or the guys start saying on the bench, oh, Vassie's on tonight, we're not going to need a lot tonight? And maybe was that a moment, and were there a few of them tonight?
I don't know. Like, Vassie's on pretty much every night, so I don't know if we have to sit here and think about that. It was more our team game was off. I'll be honest, there were some remarkable individual performances tonight, one by Vassy and Coleman and a couple other guys, but it definitely was an unremarkable team game we had going on. So we were Vassy, we're used to seeing this from him, and he definitely gave us a chance to win tonight.
Matt Larkin, the Hockey News.
Hey, John, I know you, as you just said, you're used to seeing that kind of performance from Vassy, but that was second most saves he's ever made in a playoff game in regulation. So I'm curious for you, where does that rank for you in terms of just the best performances you've seen from him?
Hard to say. As I try and rack my brain on games, like if you're going to have any success in the league, especially this time of year when you need your goaltender to be good for you, and hopefully you can leave a game sitting there saying, hey, the goalie contributed to the win, but it was a great team win. And tonight, there were peaks and valleys in our game, but Vassy stood tall when we were down, and I can't sit here and grade one win or one performance over another. I've seen him make 20 saves in a game, but 3 saves saved the game for us. So he was on tonight, no question. But I think anytime you win a game in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's a huge win, and it was another one for us and Vass.
Ken Campbell.
Hey, John. Your GM last year took a bit of heat for what he gave up for Blake Coleman and Barclay Goodrow.
A bit?
Yeah, a bit. And I mean, those guys are guys I know that, like, they're your kind of players. And, obviously you guys have been very successful since they came. You look at opportunity cost. I mean, obviously it's working in your favor, but what have these guys brought, and how much have they had to do with the success that you guys have had?
Well, they're a piece of the puzzle, but they were the final piece. And we've kind of tried different recipes all the way through, but unlike probably other teams going for a top 6 forward or a top 4D, we've kind of gone the other way and maybe looked for that middle 6 forward or that third set D. And I think you're looking for winners, and those like Colsey and Goody are winners, and they prove it time and time again. And in a time of year when every shift is under a microscope, and players that aren't used to really playing with grit are playing with grit, games are elevated, the microscope is on you at all times. There's guys that rise to the occasion, and sometimes there's guys that don't. And these guys, like, the moment doesn't seem to be too big for them, and it's like in the Islander game in Game 6, I told Coleman after the game, don't you dare lose a night of sleep over, your turnover that he felt like cost us that game. I was like, you are one of the straws that stir the drink for this team. And all he's done is had a remarkable Game 7 and 2 remarkable games here in the final. And he's a winner, turns the page and moves on and delivers. And he did that tonight. Both those guys.
John Romano, Tampa Bay Times.
So what's the best way to describe Coleman's goal? Is that remarkable skill, incredible hustle? Does the guy have an angel on his shoulder?
I don't know. It's one of those where the announcer says, you'll see that on SportsCenter tonight. That's what that was.
Do a few more for Coach Francois Gagnon, RDS.
Yes, John, you said it. Every win in the Stanley Cup final is a good win. On the other hand, strong teams sometimes are their biggest adversary when they feel that things are going to come easy. And after a win like tonight, what's your way to make sure that they don't believe that it's going to be easy what's coming up?
Well, game ones are interesting, okay? They can be a little bit of fool's gold. Montreal's lost game ones in one series. We've lost game ones in one series. A little bit of feeling out game. You like to get them because it gives you that extra game. Game 2, desperate team comes in, the team that lost. The other team, depending on how the game went, it's probably a little bit of human nature after you win a game 5-1 and the other team didn't play their best. You don't know that because we've never seen the other team before. So our first sight of Montreal was game 1, and they know they didn't play their best. I'm sure they're looking now saying, okay, this is the Montreal that has got their way to the Stanley Cup final. You don't fluke your way to the final. Let me just tell you that. So, but I think the players have to get a taste of what's coming at them, and they got that tonight. And we were, fortunate to pull this game out. But the team we saw tonight is more the team that's run through the playoffs as opposed to what we saw in game 1. And I think, it's probably a little stock correction for us in how we approach the rest of this series. And I give our guys credit for pulling this one out, but we're in the final, man. This can be hard. It's like really hard. And we've been through this before. We punched, they counterpunched, and now it's for us to come back at them. But these series are a grind any way you look at it. And like I said, it's we'll need better effort in game 1, a way better effort in game 2 and we'll need that in game 3 if we're going to have a chance.
Arpon Basu, The Athletic.
Hey, John, I just wanted to pick up on that because you say everything you just said. You came out of it with a victory. You played an unremarkable team game by your own words. What kind of boost can that give your guys to know that they did come out, they did not play their best, and they still come out with a 2-0 lead in the series?
Well, I don't want to sit here, do not sit here and say, oh, well, the coach said Tampa didn't play great. The enemy has a vote. Montreal had a vote in why we didn't play great. So it wasn't just on us. They had a plan and they stuck to it. And so, that's part of what goes on here. It's like I said, it's 2 really good hockey teams out there. And, you're just fighting to who can win 4 first. And so even in our run last year and our run this year, I can circle periods and I can circle games where it's just the other team's running your show or you're feeling on the, on your heels, and it hasn't happened often, but it does happen. And I'm sure, I haven't watched all of Montreal's games, but I'm sure there were periods and games where it was I wish we would have a little bit better effort. But it's hard when you're playing every second night and there's so much demand on the games. So it's 2 good teams. And we're fortunate right now that we're up 2, but this series has got a lot of runway left on it. And we know we've got better in us. And I'm sure Montreal's thinking the same thing. So let's move on. Let's go to game 3.
Last question, Eric Erlinson, Lightning Insider.
John, what's the challenge going into the second intermission when you didn't play as well as you wanted to, but you have a huge emotional ending to it? You only got 15 minutes to regroup. So what's the challenge in making sure you get everybody's head back on straight?
Yeah. Watch Quest for the Stanley Cup to find that one out.
Coach, thanks for the time.